Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back to the podcast. How is everybody doing? So as you can see in the episode title, is the urgency to be perfect holding you back? The surprising truth about perfectionism. We all want to strive to be perfect, and there is so much pressure on us as mums, and especially now we've got social media, we can compare all the time. And I see this a lot occurring lately. People are just questioning themselves, and I do it myself. We're all just guilty of doing that, but we need to dive deeper into that. So I think I wanted to talk a little bit more because I've had a lot of people reaching out to me lately and they're just feeling a little bit lost. And it's easy to feel lost and not know where to go next, but it's good to revisit old topics that maybe I've spoke about but not as in depth previously. So perfectionism often feels like a goal we should strive for, but in reality the urgency to be perfect can have the opposite effect, holding us back instead of propelling us forward. So in today's fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need to have everything just right. Whether it's in our business, our parenting, or personal growth, the pressure to be perfect can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and procrastination. But you know what? Here's the truth. Perfectionism can stifle creativity, prevent us from taking risks, and keep us stuck in analysis paralysis. Instead of making progress, we end up spinning our wheels, trying to get everything perfect, only to find that perfection is unattainable. So how can we break free from this cycle? It starts with embracing imperfection and understanding that mistakes are an essential part of growth. Progress comes from taking action, learning from experiences, and giving ourselves grace along the way. And you're probably thinking, your brain is going 10 to the dozen now, thinking, yep, this is me. Because we're in this world now where everything has to be perfect. Our homes, our parenting, our lifestyles, our relationship. We didn't have that. I had this conversation with a client years ago. We didn't compare. We just got on with our merry way. We didn't have phones. When I left school and went into work, nobody compared because nobody looked at each other in that way because we didn't have social media. But it's gone bougie now and the world's gone so crazy and everyone shows off a little bit, and we can all fall foul of doing this. We can all put things on social media because we feel like we have to, attend to what everybody else is doing. But then we can set our bar quite high and then we can just feel it's unattainable. And we just feel like we just need to strip it back. And I've seen so many posts about this lately. People just want to go back to basics. And this is true. This is what we all need to do from time to time. So here are some top tips for overcoming perfectionism and embracing imperfection. So number 1, we need to shift your focus from perfection to progress. So instead of aiming for perfection, set goals around making progress. Perfection often comes from the belief that there's only one right way to do things, but progress allows room for flexibility, mistakes, and growth. Aiming for small wins and continuous improvement will move you closer to your goals without feeling overwhelmed, because we do just see things as quite linear sometimes, and we have to make mistakes, because if we don't, then how are we going to grow? Self-development doesn't grow if we're not making continuous mistakes, and we could make a massive mistake or just small minor mistakes. But if we do it in incremental steps, which I do, now I look for small wins instead of overloading myself, and just finding practical strategies like outsourcing and time blocking. It really helps my continuous improvement on my business growth. And like I talked about in a couple of episodes before, my weight loss. So I'm not looking for perfection at the minute, and I probably won't feel perfect when I've done all this, but I need to just make these incremental health goals a priority for me at the minute. So number 2, set realistic expectations. The quest for perfection often comes from setting unrealistic standards. So be kind to yourself by setting achievable, realistic goals. It's okay if things don't go exactly as you planned. What matters is learning from the experience and moving forward. You don't have to tell people what you're doing. We find that too many people, I see it all the time online, this is what I'm going to do. And then you kind of look back on the social media and they're like, I thought they were doing this, I thought they were doing that, because we've set expectations, we've put too much pressure on ourselves. Just do it in the background, just do what you need to do. And be kind to yourself. We don't have to put too much pressure. If we change our mind or we set a goal and it's like, well, I can't really do that because I'm just bogged down with my children and it's too much, might be a new mum. And, sometimes we just need to focus on our children. And I always say to people, goals can wait, especially when you've got younger children. And then, I know before my son went to school, my goals were different because I was excited because when he started school, I knew I was going to go to college and retrain as a personal trainer. Even though I was doing mobile hair and beauty, I wanted to do fitness, I wanted to implement that. And I know why I wanted to do that now, because in hindsight, we wouldn't have known we've had them 2 years of lockdown, and I wouldn't have launched my podcast, but I've been able to teach about business and mindset, and it's not really been for nothing. Even though I'm not working in a gym now, I've done my experience in a gym, I've seen what the gym life looks like, and it tired me out. But I can still use the strategies and I can teach you on here, everything that I use, and if it can help somebody else or just one person a month, then I'm happy. So number 3, embrace imperfection as part of the process. Perfection is an illusion. It's the mistakes, the bumps, and the imperfections that make life interesting and help you grow. Embrace the idea that mistakes are not failures, but learning opportunities. The more you can embrace imperfection, the less pressure you'll feel. Once we put the pressure on ourselves, everything goes wrong. Have you ever done that, where you've just set the bar quite high and you just feel like, oh, I'm just not doing that. And then when we don't feel like we're hitting that bar, then we have to pull back a little bit. And then that's when we start with the negative self-talk and I can't achieve that. But all we need to do is just look at what our goals are and look at all the imperfections that can come along with it and learn from it, because we become better people when we learn from our imperfections. We've all got imperfections in so many different ways, and if you've got a really big ego and you think you don't have that, then it's wrong. We all have imperfections, but if every single, most people that listen to this podcast are females, if we all just embrace our imperfections and stop putting pressure on us other females, then life would be so much easier. So number 4, stop overthinking and start taking action. This is my favourite. Overthinking is a common result of perfectionism. When you overthink, you end up paralysed by the fear of getting things wrong. Start by taking imperfect action. As the saying goes, done is better than perfect. When you take action, you gain clarity and momentum, which will eventually lead you closer to your results that you want. Say, for instance, me recording this podcast. When I first started, I used to criticise myself, then my monkeys were just in there, and I used to go back and think, I don't like my accent, I'm doing too many ums and likes and ahs. But I know when I'm recording, it's so different than when I'm talking to another human being, because it's just one way and then you're going to listen to the podcast after. And I'm always thinking, it's not perfect. And my voice doesn't sound right. My pitch doesn't sound good. But then I think, well, I'm putting the content out there. I've got lots of listeners. People are tuning in and people are giving me feedback. So it's not about perfection. You don't want me to be perfect on this podcast, because that doesn't show that I'm a true person. I'm a mum. I've got things going on just like you guys. And I keep showing up week by week on this podcast. If I was to let them, if I wanted to be super perfect, I could have all these I could be recording in this huge studio. I could have lots, I could add extras to this podcast. But is it going to be practical as a mom? No, it's not. It's going to put pressure on me. I've got a little studio at home where I've got everything that I need to record. I can do it when my son's in bed. You don't have to create this perfect Pinterest life all the time. People don't know. Some of the best podcasters that I listen to and I know are doing it in the kitchen, they're doing it and they're creating businesses. So let's stop putting pressure on ourselves. Let's stop overthinking too much. And I am a massive overthinker. I do overthink a lot of things. And I get into my own head sometimes. I try and get myself back out of it. But I am aware of that. So as long as I am aware of that, I can think, Lindsay, give your head a little wobble. And that's what we need to do sometimes. So number 5, reframe the fear of failure. The fear of failure often keeps us stuck in the perfectionist mindset. Reframe failure as an opportunity for growth, not something to avoid. Every time you take action and don't get the expected result, you're gaining valuable experience that will serve you in the future. I think a lot of this for me is with people. I think I gain valuable experience from people's motives and the way people are. And I thought I knew a lot in my 20s and early 30s about people. But you do get cynical and you get full of wisdom when you get to your 40s. We can kind of get, we can compare, we can get stuck. As long as we're just focusing on us and giving ourselves opportunity for growth, then that's amazing. We can't be like the next person, and we can always look at a certain person can position themselves online that look absolutely incredibly amazing. They've got it all going on, but they probably haven't at home. So why put pressure on ourselves to show up like that? Just don't worry about failure. If something doesn't work out, but don't hide from it. Celebrate it, because actually, if you are in business, people love to see, actually, this isn't working out at the minute. And it kind of gives everybody like a sigh of relief to think, oh, that person's like actually not got their head together, and this person is like struggling at the minute. And it makes them more humane. It's that personable touch, especially when we are in business and online. So number 6, practice self-compassion. This is a must. Perfectionism is often driven by harsh self-criticism. Start practicing self-compassion by speaking kindly to yourself. Remind yourself that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy or successful. Be your own biggest cheerleader and celebrate your wins, no matter how small. And this is where we have our affirmations come into play. We need to remind ourselves, and that is why I do my gratitude and give thanks and look at what's working for me at the minute. What words am I using? Are the trigger words that are coming up? We always can be negative and cruel towards ourselves, but when we have worked on our self-development, it really starts to show up with our self-compassion, and we can just say it's not working, it is what it is, but we're not going on for days, weeks and months about the same thing. So it's just about patting yourself on the back, being a cheerleader, find a really nice friend who's a cheerleader. There's always somebody there to offer, that support. I've got lots of friends that always offer me support, and I do them. So number 7, celebrate small wins. Recognising and celebrating small victories along the way helps you break the cycle of perfectionism. Whether it's a small task you've completed or a step towards a bigger goal. Taking time to acknowledge and celebrate these wins help you stay motivated and focused on your progress, not perfection. I do this all the time, so I get loads of goals done, and then, I celebrate them online, and then I think, have I done enough now? So maybe like 1 month, I've done lots of might have published a book or a journal, and then the month after I haven't. So I lose that dopamine fix, but I should just remember that I have done small wins, and I shouldn't really keep criticising myself and looking at. We can't all be on that high all the time. We have to just be a little bit chilled and just let things just take its course. Might have a really bad month where we need to just downplay things a little bit. So as long as we acknowledge that, we can ramp it up again like the month after, but just focus on your progress and look at how far you've gone. So that's really good at revisiting your goals, your 3 monthly goals, and maybe your yearly goals. Look at where you are on paper to where you are going to achieve, and that's sometimes a really good reminder. Actually, how do we need to break this down? This is becoming a little bit of a struggle now, because I'll tell you what, 3 months goes like in a flash. So when we hold ourselves to unattainable standards, we're often afraid to take risks or try new things because we fear we won't be able to do them perfectly. This fear of imperfection leads to procrastination as we avoid starting projects or completing tasks that we feel we won't meet our high standards. Perfectionism can also hurt your personal growth by creating an all or nothing mindset. If you're constantly striving for the perfect result, you might overlook the valuable lessons and insights that come from the mistakes or the journey itself. We have to, this is just really important that if we don't take risks, then we're never going to know. And risks makes us grow and learn and understand. Sometimes we can go in thinking we know it all, but actually we can be shocked sometimes. Things can we can come face to face with our biggest fears. And you might be riddled with anxiety and worry. And this is why I think self-development is good. What's manifesting's done for me is grown my confidence even more over the last couple of years. Like, people always say to me, you're really confident. And I'm like, but I started in the hair and beauty industry. I wasn't confident. Then I got confident. Then you've got praise, and then I've got goals, and then I've won awards. And so it grows because you start seeing results. You start seeing the growth of what you do, more qualifications, more celebrations. Honestly, I just don't know how I have done so much in the time that I have done it. And I don't know why I've done so much. And I think, have I been on a permanent dopamine train? Have I been enjoying this celebration? I'm trying to prove something to myself? Have I been trying to be perfect? And I think I was speaking to my mum about this, and I said, like, when I was at school, I used to look at the people and like where they lived and what they did, and maybe like people in higher sets. And I always thought they will actually do so amazing. They're going to get the best grades. And even though they probably got better grades than me, I see a lot of people now that I like went to school with or grew up with it, and they're not doing what they want to do. They're living by default, not design. And and they're probably thinking, well, that Lindsay wasn't like in the middle set at school. She grew up where she grew up, and like they're probably shocked like that I do the things that I do. But I think it's because I've not strived to be too perfect. I've worked with what I have. What I didn't have, it was fine because it made me work harder and stronger. I became more resilient to people, my surroundings, my awareness. I knew what I wanted. I stayed quiet. I just went and did what I needed to do. And I had a lot of positive self-talk from my mum. My mum was always, it was just me and my mum for many years, and she was always pushing me. I want you to do these things that I haven't done and reach your goals. And if I didn't have my mum doing that, I don't know where I would be now, because she'll probably be listening to this crying now at this point, but I wouldn't, because she's like, you're doing all the things that she's doing. She says, I miss being at that level because my mum, you do when you get to a certain age, you start to chill out and mellow. But I said, yeah, but I seen a lot of what you did. You was like confident, you had a lot of friends, you used to teach, and I used to look up to that and think, my mum, they're proud of my mum and she's amazing and I want to be like that. But my mum's like, yeah, but you're like that now. You're like a carbon copy of me. And I said, yeah, but that's because of where I am on my age now. I'm in that, still in that, I've got quite a few years of working life, and I still want to achieve so much. So maybe I've got things that are deep rooted with me, and people always used to criticize like being a hairdresser and where you come from and this, that, and the other. And they are things that pushed me to write a book, because I thought, just because I didn't get like the highest grades at school doesn't mean I can't become an author, doesn't mean I can't write a book. Yes, I'm going to have to work harder, which I did. And that is why I went and studied and got lots of qualifications, because it helped me with my English, it helped me with my grammar, it helped me with the delivery of talking to people and understanding and literature and the world. And that's how self-development started for me. It started to just build up and build up. And then obviously the word before the manifesting word, it was called manifesting. I used to create something in my mind and I wanted it and I always got it and it always came through. And I used to think that's really spooky. And it used to happen really quick. And it's only like in the last couple of years, we have words for things like the law of attraction and manifesting. And yeah, it's just crazy now. There's lots, because of social media, we dive deeper into what we do talk about and what I talk about on here. I can deliver it in a better way. But years ago, if I'd have talked like this, people would have thought absolutely I'm Bulu, and what are you talking about? They would have thought completely, they wouldn't have understood this, and people probably don't understand what I talk about. But what I've done, I think I've been building up a catalogue of knowledge and words and wisdom, and it's just spilling out now. And this is why I always say to people, podcasting is amazing, because even if you don't do it for money and in your business, do it for a hobby, do it for you, do it for your own gratification, do it for your own self-worth and growth. Even if you've got 10 people listening a month, just do it, because it will help you. And when I listen to my old episodes and then listen to the new ones now, I know so much more because I've learned. But if I wouldn't have took that time to do that, I wouldn't be talking to you today. So personal growth and all this is, it really does, it just helps you become a well-rounded person. And it's really good to release the pressure to be perfect. So the key takeaway from today is that perfectionism isn't the path to success, action is. Give yourself permission to take imperfect steps, to fail forward and to grow throughout your process. If you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed, the need to be perfect, it's time to shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. Embrace your imperfections and let them guide you towards the life you're meant to create. And we just need to let go. Stop worrying about what the people think. I just think my podcast is not going to be for everybody. It is what it is. I enjoy doing it. I love people tuning in and people giving me feedback. And I don't know half the people that listen to the podcast are. So do get involved. Come and message me. Come follow me on social media. But message me and tell me that you listen to the podcast, because it would be nice to get to know people more. I've always got time for people if you send me a message, as long as it's not getting loads of crazy messages, because I do get lots of spam messages. There's so much you can do if you are feeling stuck right now. You might be just in a little bit of a funny spot. I have different types of listeners. I have obviously new mums, older mums, grandmas, people that are in business, they're not in business, people doing 9-to-5 jobs, thinking about doing side hustles, people are in loving relationships and not loving relationships, people looking for love. We're not all the same. We're not going to be the same. We've all been through the same things in life. It doesn't matter what we're all doing at different ages, don't we? So, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave that there for today. And yeah, I hope everybody is good. And what have I been up to this week? I can't remember. I've just been getting my head down and just spending a bit of time, I think, at home, just reflecting a lot. I think the last 2 weeks I've been in a right reflective mood. I've been observing and watching and thinking and readjusting after the last episode of realigning. It's really important we do that, because we can get carried away. We can take the eye off the ball, but sometimes we need to focus on what we do. And my word this year was vitality, and that's still going really well. And yeah, sometimes I've got to slow it down a little bit, and sometimes I ramp it up. It's just me. That's just the way I roll. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to go now. So I will speak to you all soon, and have a great week. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you feel inspired to take action and manifest the life you deserve. Don't forget to come and join me over on social media and Instagram at Busy Mums Fitness Corner for more tips, motivation and behind the scenes. And also be sure to check out my books on Amazon. They're designed to help you manifest your dreams and grow. And if you're ready to take the next step and work with me, you can head over to my Linktree for all the details. Let's make magic happen together. So until next time, keep manifesting and stay amazing.